Hello guys, I hope you are well. Welcome to the Benjamin Zulu Show once again this beautiful day. Now, today we have a very interesting topic on this show, by the way. I hope you are set for this wisdom from one Benjamin Zulu Show. Now, I know you understand some of the weird or funny scenarios that most single men and women find themselves in. One of them is baby mama situations. So today we are going to tell you, or Benjamin is going to tell you, why you need to avoid baby mama situations in your life. Benjamin, how are you?
I'm good, man. And one of the problem we have is we are trivializing what God meant to be solemn and serious. What God meant to be sacred, we made it a sport, namely sex. Most people end up having a child with a person who is not married to them, were not looking for a child. They were careless with the sex. We have reached a point where people think one night stands. They even use trivial language. I was paged. You know, I can't stand this language of hearing. I started dating this guy for a few months and then I got pregnant. Why are you dating nude? Where does meeting? Dating means trying to learn a person to see if you can cope.
Yeah.
To see if you are compatible. Brahman, if you are sleeping with every lady you are dating, where would your life be now? And do we think about the child who will bring from that mix? How much of your life are you willing to sacrifice for 5 minutes of heavy breathing? Anyway, let's go to definitions. Baby mama is a coined term, and when you say baby mama, there's also baby daddy. We're just using both. It's where you end up getting a child, and there's nothing else between you and that person except the child.
Okay.
All right. And I want to tell you several situations where people end up caught up. And what's the problem of being a baby daddy, a baby mama, having a child with a person who is not your partner? The direction of your life is altered permanently. Please swallow that. Because nobody is saying it. They're making a child look trivial. They're making a child. I warned ladies the other day, if you don't have a child and you get caught up in baby fever, women have funny cravings, one of them. One of the cravings is to have baby. And those cravings come when her friends start having babies. And they could be that year university. They could, the foolishness I've seen with our university students, it's unfathomable. Can you imagine when Richard Branson is launching to space? The oppositeness we have with this continent is nauseating. Richard Branson are competing with Elon Musk. The guys are trying to conquer new lands. Our men here are launching into women's beds. Over there, people are measuring progress versus advancing humanity. People are measuring progress versus doing new things. Here, adding a wife, getting 20 children, 30 children, as if there's a competition or trophies. And the children you don't intend to give quality life. Just siring them into confusion. Anyway, we are saying this. It burns me, man. Why are people... Bramel, I want to invite you, me and you and our people, as many as understand we were born here to make a change. Let's make sure we launch something. We may not launch into space. Okay? We may not become weightless. You know the way they were weightless and floating in the car, in the jet there, and just. I want you to decide that before you sign out of life. Branson has been preparing that program for 17 years. That was a culmination of 17 years of work. Money, research, building the stuff, injecting capital. And they were in competition with Elon Musk. Elon, I think, is launching 20th. His is launching directly from the Earth. This one used more of an airplane to be taken near. Then it launched the rocket that goes far. Then the Elon Musk wants to launch from the ground and shoot traditional. That's what we are used to seeing. We used to see that kind of launching. Voyager 1, Voyager 2, they launched that way from the ground. We are seeing people showing us things on TV that they've been planning for years. Let me tell you what a baby does. The baby becomes the central part of your life the moment the child arrives. The baby becomes demanding. I know single women don't get a forum to share it. A few are generous enough, kind to warn the rest. When you get single mothers, when you get a child when you're second year university, you go through a hell, my brother. I talk to those girls and they tell me, can you warn those girls? Having to meet the demands of school and the demands of my baby, the finances, the emotional stress, the explanation, the social stigma, the rejection, the confusion. It's a hell. If it is so severe, why are people so casual about it? Did I tell you that in Street Child, many boys in Street Child went in Street Child because of stepdaddy? The woman got married already having a son, and the son could not get along. We had one in our show who told us he ended up in the street because of stepdad hostility. So what are the reasons? One of the reasons is as follows. A child is permanent. I know you should know that, but let's mention it again. A child is a human being like you and me. Once they arrive here, they are here. And who you got that child with, Brahma, even if there is no history, even if you no longer want that woman in your life, will always have a representative in your life. That child will always be between the two of you for good. A guy came to me 20 years down the line after he got a kid with a house help. Tormented. Can't sleep. That his child is somewhere. And maybe she's wondering, who is my father? I have seen men tormented by one act of 20 years ago. Are we perfect? We are all tempted. Every day we are tempted. But what did God tell Cain about sin? In Genesis 3, sin stands at the door. It seeks to have you, but you must learn to master it. One of my prayers, Brahma, is lead me not into temptation. Keep me from evil. Because I know just one mistake and I'll have a complication and I'll be crying 20 years down the line. That man told me he tries to suppress it. Did I tell you many people drinking in clubs are trying to quiet guilt? There are many men drinking to anesthetize, to inject themselves with anesthesia because of misdeeds. I said that somewhere, and one of my former class groups, somebody said, I had a child, and I don't remember. I told her, if you can forget a child, told the guy, if you can forget your son or your daughter, your blood, a part of you is dead. A part of you is dead. Your conscience has been hardened to iron. Would you feel good if you were abandoned that way yourself? No. Once you get a child as a man, you must step up. But I told you we have a weird age group of baby daddies. A guy is 28 years, a child is 8 years old. We have a trend that you can't even imagine what boys are doing. They are arriving in the university removing trousers, starting mating. Fresh ass bash. I don't know who told them it's an achievement. Let's remind people this. A blessing at the wrong time can become a burden. This is the second reason I want you to avoid getting a baby too soon. A baby itself is a blessing in the right time. It's a bundle of joy only when it's at the right time.
The right time. And as you always said, Benjamin, the devil
is in the timing. The same baby you got when you are with your wife and you're prepared, even when you get married, you have to plan still. True. You can get married, suddenly get pregnant, and you struggle. You go through indignities. You go through humiliating experiences that make you regret. If you don't plan financially, if you don't add up mathematics well, brother, you'll be talking alone and shaking your head on the road. Because of that bundle of joy. Which joy are you experiencing? Stress. A baby demands upkeep, finances, emotional availability. You must think ahead. So the reason I want you to think ahead, I want you to calculate carefully is, where are you going with your financial life? You must ask that question so that you can see at what point is it strategic to get a child. God gave you some control over getting a child so that you can calculate. You can have a say. The reason I want you to avoid baby mama and baby daddy is because that child is not under your roof. Or even if you are the one with the child, there's another person. Yeah. Now, look back, Bramwell, at the women you knew who were very talented, who were brighter than you. Mm-hmm. In every sense. That girl used to show you mathematics. Yeah. And you humble be taught. Sometimes you are forced to humble. This person is better than you, clearly. You can't deny it. And it was clear their star was shining. Mm-hmm. Only in your fantasies would you imagine her being your wife, but you knew that is a far-fetched dream. Brothers like to imagine the impossibles. And you know, the only place you'll ever be married that girl is in your mind. But so be it. So, but along the way, she goes to the university and gets pregnant. What happened? Her self-esteem, her name, her reputation. Yeah. Because it's seen as failure. You mixed up your schedule. Mixed up your project, unless it's a rape case. Mm-hmm. Rape cases happen, very unfortunately, but they are few. The majority of women in the university, it's not rape. Yeah. Majority is carelessness. And I've told you, they encourage each other because they make it casual.
Casual. Yeah.
Me and my boyfriend are expecting a child. I meet women who have hit 30, 32, 27. 5 years, 6 years, 7 years with a child now. After they got pregnant, they tried moving in and making a marriage out of it. Mm-hmm. Marriage is a disaster if you move in to cover up another thing. Marriage only works when you marry for the sake of the marriage, the union, the companionship. Marriage cannot work when it's being brought as a cover-up for something else. Mm-hmm. When it's a consequence for pregnancy. It's a consequence for getting somehow entangled and already stuck with a person. You don't marry a person because you got stuck with them. You marry a person because they are strategically good for you. You marry a person because you evaluated. The second reason how people become baby mama and baby daddy is if a person tells you get pregnant so that I can marry you. I can't even stand that. What level of disrespect is a person telling you I'm going to marry you with a condition? First, get pregnant. Why would you even entertain the conversation? I want to ask ladies, the next time you hear a person talking like that, wake up, leave them alone. Mm-hmm. They're not marrying you for you. Yeah. And in any case, they might not even keep their promise. Many of them have said that, you got pregnant and they leave you. Mm-hmm. They have a very dangerous narcissistic trait of wanting to mess up your life. Keep sex for marriage. You'll avoid many of these devils. I've warned young girls to keep their panties in place until they enter marriage. And they'll avoid a lot of troubles. There are many men who also think having sex with a girl is a win for him. Then she traps you. And she gets pregnant. There you are tied, you are entangled. And as a man, when you remember this is my child, there's a lot of confusing emotions. Imagining your child is somewhere, maybe they don't have food. It's very scary. You can't even eat peacefully yourself. No, I'm eating. It's my child eating. I wish we could have shared this food. It will haunt you. It's a headache. Those people will tell you, I want us to get a child first. It's a trap. If you follow God's instructions of keeping the marital bed pure, you'll avoid a lot of troubles. But you see today, when you preach the gospel, they told you, when you tell them, let's follow God's word, are you perfect? God does not want perfection, he wants obedience. Yeah. Are we together? None of us is perfect. We should decide to be obedient. Do we fall at times? Yes. But if you decide to obey and follow God, he will save you from a lot of troubles. I have worked with high schools and I would hear a cheerleader of a CEO, a very saved girl who just after 4 she gets pregnant. Then I ask her what happened. She was not thinking about it. She was careless. It is carelessness that would ruin them. They got attention, love, friendship from a guy and they were overwhelmed. Yeah. Some of them from home, they are starved of father's attention, of male love. And the moment they saw it, they lost themselves. What I want you to remember, Bramwell, is when you lose control, when you lose sight of where you're going, when you lose what is happening with your life, when you lose track, you veer off the road. Every driver knows you must keep your eyes ahead. You're the driver of your life.
Yeah.
Keep your eyes ahead. Avoid obstacles. Slow down when you must. Speed up when time requires it. All these things don't come from automatic being born knowing. The reason we are teaching with so much passion is we wished we were told. We learned by guesswork. And we saw many who did not get out of it safe. Can you imagine a lady, she's 29 and already has 2 sons with a man who they ended up nowhere. She got pregnant the first time, started trying to make the marriage work, got pregnant the second time, it is still didn't work. Surely, 29. Let me tell ladies another reason they should avoid, because getting a man to marry you when you have a son is harder than when you have a daughter. The son is, most men fear. They just fear. It's not that hard, but they fear that they may not get along with the boy.
Yeah.
They feel like there will be 2 men in that home. Sometimes they feel like the mother will be too attached to the son. Sometimes the mother is too attached to the son to protect. We all know homes where the woman came with the son and the son never got along with the stepdad. Yeah. And there's always strain. There are stepdads who get along very well with the sons, and you can't even tell unless you are told. Yeah. But what happens more frequently? They don't get along.
They don't get along.
There's tension in that home. Do girls think about that when they have sex with the men? Do they think about it?
No.
Having a son could make you never to get married. And there are those ones now you are hearing saying second wife is okay because they're trying to bargain downwards. They messed up their lives as well. Be very careful. Be very careful as a woman. You're left there with a child. Many times it's the woman who's left with the child. Many times people can't tell whether Bramel has a child by seeing him passing. He may not, or he may. The woman, if they have a child, they have to stay with the child. Many times it's after the man dies that the women pop up with children. He managed to behave like he has none, yet there are children somewhere. The problem we have in our day-to-day is some things are being underrated.
That is very true. And I like this conversation, Benjamin, because it is coming timely. You'll realize that premarital sex blinds.
Exactly.
You see, it blinds. And the other reason as to why this kind of people find themselves in this situation is they say, after all, we are getting married, and that is why they find that they have sex carelessly, casually.
Getting married is only a hope and a plan.
Yeah.
There's a problem of having sex before you get married, even if you plan to get married, because you have shown the other person you can have sex with a person who has not yet married.
Yeah.
Outside marriage. You have destroyed trust. Can you see it? You have lost your specialness. Many marriages lost their juice and connection because of that. Impatience. You need to control yourself. You need to be very self-controlled. Those who want to do examination, do the examination using a gynae. You're not an expert yourself.
Yeah.
If you need to do an examination, see professionals. See the right person. Now, there's an element about children that you don't again hear a lot. There are women who got a kid and they were so heartbroken that by the breakup they focused on their studies.
Yeah.
They went, in fact, they usually take the next 10 years building themselves to secure a life for themselves and the child. So they usually come back around 32, 35, mid-30s. When they have ascended their career, they're CEO, they're running business, they have their car, and then they started feeling a need to have a relationship. But the pain was so severe, time has so much gone, they are already somewhere midlife. The child is now somewhere 10 years, 12 years. Life has so gone, they are successful with money, but very unsuccessful with the relationship because they numbed.
Yeah.
How many repercussions? Let us count. Let us count the number of price, the cost this woman is paying for one thing. She carelessly dated when she was in campus. Dating a guy out there was or another idiot. That was a third year. Then she could go and spend a weekend there. I can't even imagine a woman spending a weekend. You know, they usually come next week, and it looks normal. It looks normal. Okay, we say there's monkey sex that happens in school. Among the Then you are exiled. You are asked to excuse yourself. They come sleep there.
Yes.
Did that ever happen to you?
I was never exiled.
I'm sure they feared. Even me, they dared not. If the roommate wants to do it, let him leave.
Simple.
If you brought the subject, I will take that time, first of all, to square the conversation with you. Because they know it's a sin and they can't defend it.
Yes.
They know it's a wrong thing. Many of the girls who used to do it, today they're still single and disappointed and sad. Let me announce to women who have a future. The women who are very hardworking. They have a future. Most women who end up in these traps are good women who were mistaken, mixed up the priorities, made blunders that are too costly. I don't have time to tell you as a man how a woman can veer off the direction of your life. That stress about the child, you're entangled, the woman is very toxic, who keeps using the child as a bait. It's that, go and study histories of mighty men like Mike Tyson. Go study the histories of people who were towering. Many of them were brought down and there was a woman in the mix. There's a woman in the mix. Do you know a man who has managed his sexual urges has done away with half the problems?
Yeah.
I've not even told you about money. Forget money first.
Sexual urges. That is a fact.
People will talk so much about money because money is very important. But there's an area they are quiet about. You can have all the money like Cristiano Ronaldo, but you still find him dragged in court. It's about that. About a woman. When his nemesis, his rival, Lionel Messi, is a disciplined guy who simply has a family. You never hear him in bad media. He works, goes home. One reason, Bramwell, you need to marry so that after you work,
I go home.
right now, you usually go to your house. Bachelors don't have a home. No, bachelors don't have a home. They have a crib. They even call it cage. Why you may Niko cage? When you get married, it's not cage.
Yes.
It's a home. It has warmth. It has facility. It has a life. You know the guy is living in a cage because the belt is there, the shoe is over there, TV is here, the cup is here. No sooner are you in the sitting room than you're already in the bedroom. Self-confused. So, one reason, Bramwell, I want you to marry and marry right. Yeah. So that when you are done with our shows, you go home. Right now, when you're done with our shows, you retreat.
My gosh.
There's a difference. It's a basic place to lay your hair. It's a basic place to just pass the days. One reason I want you to avoid getting involved with women is so that when you finally marry, you establish a home. A child out there, and then you receive calls that are, you receive calls and you feel tension. No, it's a demand for some money, emergency, cases. When you're a parent, you're a parent. You need to bring up your child under your roof, bro. I want you to bring up your child under your watch. So that you talk to them. You inspire them. You watch them. Discipline them. Direct them. You don't want your name mentioned somewhere. The time they were rumoring like our former president and a child somewhere. They saw a person who looked very much like and they say, you learned that. His name was in school there. You don't want people bringing up dirty pasts of your life. I want you to be very, very careful, my brother. And pray. Put your prayers there. Focus your prayer and your grace to ask God that you don't blunder in that side. The mistakes are too far-reaching. David slept with one woman one night. How many consequences? It's unfair, by the way. It's disproportionate. The cost we pay for sexual mishaps are not proportionate. Can you announce this to my boys in the university? Can you tell them this, that you can ruin your chances before you even arrive at the stage by not being sexually disciplined? Many of them take alcohol. Some girls are stupid. They take alcohol, they lose consciousness. One of them told us she was raped, but they would not knife because she drank and passed out. Or she went to drink and they put something there. So if you stayed in your room, if you stayed in your room, the hostel your mother paid for you, if you stayed there, it's boring, but it's safe. These girls date because it looks like they are boring if they're not dating. And I ask her, if you stayed in your room, it's boring, but is it safe? Lock the room, greet people at home, read the book for tomorrow, pray and
Sleep.
Eat ugali and sukuma, brother.
Yes.
Obey your seasons. University is a training camp. You don't go there for comfort. You're like guys who went to military camp. You're in your own military camp of sorts.
Yeah.
You're being trained, and life is a war. You may not be fighting with the guns, but having to pay bills, having to control yourself, having to attain your goals, having to fight off your enemies, having to build a dream, having to ward of corona, diseases, health, what? It's a war. University is a training camp because life is a war. Go there and brace for training. In fact, one way boys should take away sexual energy in the university is to jog. It's to play football. I would go work so hard so that when I come to sleep, I just sleep.
You're so tired.
Yeah. Exactly. Get yourself spent throughout the day. Work very hard, go to the library, do this, involve yourself, go chat with your friends, and when you arrive, sleep. Surround yourself with the boys. One reason is our men don't understand, our young men. When you keep company of girls, your emotions are likely to be aroused.
And exactly, that's why I was headed. Wrong company.
They stay in the same room with a girl, chat throughout the night. Your emotions start playing games on you. If you are with the boys, you'll be talking very far-reaching good ideas and laughing and making jokes. One friend of mine called Benson, we have been friends from first year up to this day. We met and we realized we think alike. We have avoided so many disasters by that brotherhood. To this day, we use same things. If one of us builds ahead, you find the contractor, you share me the contractor. Give me the contacts. Show me this. If one of us buys cars, you know where the cars are, you share. There's another guy, we are from home. I basically have two guys, we are very close. The other one's from home, from primary school. He is into business. He's been to business. He knows those things so well. He knows contracting. He knows cars. He guides me. I guide him in terms of psychological stuff and women and how to understand this and where psychology comes in. We help each other so much. I keep the company of boys and avoid disaster. Can you tell boys to spend their time with the boys? I'm not saying you isolate yourself. You'll mingle with ladies in class. You mingle in church. You mingle as well. But in your personal space, during fasting, do you stay in the kitchen?
No.
You help your urges to stay in control by keeping away from temptations. This should be obvious, but nobody's telling them. In Parklands, we were sharing the same hostel with the ladies. One wing and the other wing. So somewhere, you see them crossing to their clock rooms in towers. In fact, our prayer room was in their wing. So sometimes I would go this way to just go get in. Part of the problem I've seen with our generation, nobody is looking far enough. Can you remind them that when your mind is immature, when you're 24, 23, 25 brains, they are amygdala brains. They can't see far. They are caught up in the present emotions. And they end up ruining chances before even the time comes. There's a proverbial deer who went to the dance and danced herself lame before a turn. Let me tell you the last reason I want you to avoid baby daddy, baby mama situations. It ruins your reputation and it's everything you have in this life. Your reputation is everything, my brother. I have seen people doing these foolish YouTube things of doing scandals to attract likes. You know, they were told that notoriety of any kind is good. They read, there's a law, they're using 48 laws of power. There's a guy who talked about, but the law before that, this is a problem of small knowledge. The trouble with small knowledge is that it only shows you one side. The law before caught attention at all costs. That's how the law goes like. The law before it says, reputation, guard it with your life. The guy wrote the two sides next to each other so that people don't run away with one. The second law of caught attention of what type he was talking about? Politics. He was talking about those kinds where numbers are numbers. They don't care what kind. morality, when it comes to character and values, once you soil your reputation in the name of getting likes, what has been happening? Those who have been philandering with women around here to capture attention of public, what happens? People look at you, they're disgusted, they look away. True of us. Brother, I want you to keep your sexual urges restrained. Avoid getting pregnant with whoever, because should your dream actually come to pass, bro, you know, I saw a trick that I was not aware of. Before you become anybody in society, nobody focuses about your sins.
Yeah.
When you have no name, more fame, they don't even know you.
Yeah, no one bothers.
The moment they see Brahman twice, thrice, they go to check whether he has some sins they can use. If then you had sowed wild oats in the wrong jungles, they'll pull that out.
Yeah.
How many times have you seen people who are already bracing for a mighty thing? Then the enemies go behind to look for something shady.
Yeah.
Brother, don't give your enemies an easy ammunition. Don't. They will not allow you to talk anywhere. They'll bring it up. If you love your reputation, avoid getting babies anywhere except in your own home.
And I wanted to talk about the aspect of trauma. You'd realize that these ladies who've gotten children at a tender age, 25 and below, most of them are traumatized. And you've cited a case where they focus so much on their studies to work on their careers to actually compensate of what they had lost then. Bring in that aspect, Benjamin.
And you know, I told you, yes, that strand we were saying, there's a far-reaching consequence, which is almost invisible, because it happens over a long time. This woman ends up missing out on her dating years, on her prime youth.
Yeah.
She ends up concluding wrong things about men, and she might never get a quality marriage.
Yeah.
Simply because of a mistake of when she was 23. I shiver today when I see a 23-year-old dating. I cringe because I know she's playing with the fire without knowing its attributes. Yeah. It's like seeing a child dangling a grenade looking like a ball. That's what they're doing. Ask women who are 40 now, and they have a boy who's 18-year-old. Got him at 22. Few of them manage to reorganize their life. We are not saying it's automatic. It's because many of them escape instead of healing. So if she escapes into class and refuses to heal and rebalance, many of them, they wake up, they rebalance their life, they have a very happy marriage. They have a very happy married life. But it takes a lot of painful, emotional, forgiving, processing, revisiting, learning. Yeah? Many of them never take that work. So the pain of being rejected or being shocked, and people telling you they're disappointed. There are many mothers who tell you, I'll not take care of any kid. Sit here and take care of.
Yeah.
I'm busy. I'm busy. I can't stay home. Okay, get a house help and pay. I'll pay half. I assist you with half. How many things are you dealing with behind the scenes after getting the kid? How many things? Want these kids to force themselves and wait. Like, she's graduating in a gown with also pregnancy. She's carrying a baby. What happened? You came here, this is a training camp. If you see university as a training, it's a time for you to align your life. But you see, there are a lot of idle times for many of the courses. There are courses that are busy like pharmacy, medicine. They're running after class, after class, after class. But many other courses are very relaxed. One class a day. Another day, there is no class. Weekend, long weekend. So they take it as idleness. And then that's the time we used to do, that's the time you do personal development. That's the time I practiced my instruments. That's the time I read books. That's the time we prayed, we evangelized. That's the time we moved in groups. That's the time we learned things. Can we tell them today we are reaping what we sowed then?
Yeah.
My reminder for them is this. If you went through the trauma, seek therapy, seek healing. If it has happened that you got yourself pregnant, don't abort, don't think of neglecting the child, don't throw the child, anything. You can use that experience to be better. Anything in life can improve. It depends on how you use it. Yeah. But if you're not yet in this situation, avoid it. Run.
Run. That is Benjamin. Young men and women, the time is now. Remember, now is the time that is going to birth your future. Thank you for watching Benjamin Zulu Show.